In the following sequence, practitioners from different institutions within the secure sector share their experiences of introducing peer mentoring into their own teaching contexts. Their comments are taken from a discussion relating to the NIACE mentoring scheme. Here, the discussions are led by a senior NIACE associate.
It's a scheme run by NIACE, funded by BIS, to train prisoners to act as mathematical mentors to other prisoners. And the way it works is that either NIACE will go in and do a one-day training program with a group of maybe 10, a dozen mentors, and those mentors then might operate on the wing, typically with things like canteen sheets, or they might work as, in effect, classroom assistants in ordinary maths classes or maybe in vocational industrial workshops. So either that happens, or more recently we've started to do something slightly different. I'll go in to a prison, the prison will have got a number of other prisons together, and then we do a one-day session, and at the end of that the maths teachers and the managers go off and do their own training of their own mentors. There is a Maths Mentor Handbook which has in it a full day's training for maths mentors. So the staff get that. They can then take a group of their own people through using that as a structure, and then each mentor gets a set of books.
And a t-shirt.
Plus a t-shirt.
Yes. I found the maths mentoring one very good for me running the training day, because it gave me a structure, because I've only ever been a maths or English teacher, so I hadn't got a clue how to run a mentoring course. Right. So it actually gave me a very good starting point to link to our other mentoring qualifications, and I found it really useful. How I did it.
Yes, because I've just got the go-ahead to start running it last week, and I'm going to do the training, again linking it to a learning aim, so they'll be on the level 2,
Yes.
NCFE mentoring qualification, get the mentors trained up and out on the wings, do some publicity.
I got 2 chartered accountants, and one of whom is my age, so his subtraction or his multiplication or division is different to how most of the young prisoners would know. So we've done a bit of work around that, otherwise they're off, and they're going to run sessions on their own, a sort of drop-in session, so a prisoner who's taking an exam can go and get some help by wearing the t-shirt and things. So that's how we've organised it so far.
Other issues about getting it set up?
Yes, I had to go and pitch for it to our reducing reoffending meeting. I think my worry for us is our churn, because our churn's 250, 300 a month. So it's how long am I going to keep the mentors for, but that's just what it is, so I've got to go with it, and yes, I'm really looking forward to running it.
For us, with you bringing in your maths mentors was actually a really easy step, because we had a very strong mentoring ethos in place already, and this was just a kind of an additional and a specific role for the maths mentors. So actually we have a team of 20 mentors, something like that. That's already well established, but that took time to set up at the beginning.
It does. It takes a bit of work, it takes, because you've got to find your mentors, and you've got to find the right people. You've got to promote it, Well, you've got to get them trained. You've got to put them through the training, after which they wear the t-shirt, and that's the best promotion of the lot, to actually see people wearing the t-shirt. But then I just want to make sure anybody thinking about setting this up knows there's work to be done. Some prisons get one of their mentors to act as a coordinator, who kind of make sure that the resources are available as and when individual mentors want them. So it does ebb and flow, and it takes, there needs to be somebody in the team, in the staff team, either a maths person or an education manager, or preferably both, who's going to drive it, and keep on supporting it cyclically. Prisoners who are going to become mentors don't have to already have a particular level of maths or a particular qualification, in our view anyway. They just have to be willing to discuss the issues of boundaries and make decisions with the education staff as to where and when they work, you know, and when they stop, and how they move out of a situation if it's getting too tricky for them and so on. But that means that anybody can be a mentor at an appropriate level. You know, when you say he works with them on the wing, do you know what kind of maths he does with them?
He just talks them through their canteen sheet.
Does he?
Yeah.
Canteen sheet is one of the activities in...
Yeah.
He irons out misconceptions, they get the love for maths and off they go. They're in education. It doesn't take too long.
Thinking about interviewing a couple of the mentors after they'd been doing it for a while, and a couple of them said things like, this has given me an opportunity to develop my own maths, you know, in ways that were not possible otherwise. It's not just that the mentees benefit, the mentors actually benefit.
In fact, one of mine said that. He's got his level 2, and the next thing he said is, but it's so good because it's keeping my maths to the fore. I'm developing all the time. And he could see the value of the course, not just in maths, he could take it further, which was...
You mentioned something about one of your learners going on to do some work as well.
Yeah,
Is that
he's got an
part of that
aspiration. No, it's not, but he's desperate for his job. It's quite looked at, you know, that green shirt is something quite sought after. And he's come from no formal education, no formal examinations. He could take a degree in maths easily. And he's found that through that scheme. But yeah, I'm so proud of her.
That would be good because, you know, I've got very enthusiastic mentors, and it's a shame if they're released and then don't do anything with it. What a waste of a talent.
I've heard of prisons having really difficult decisions to make when prisoners are leaving, you know. Do they get to take the T-shirt with them?
We have
always a tricky one. And there is actually, I don't know whether this was in position when you started getting involved in it, but we've now developed just a little handout which describes the kind of volunteering opportunities that people might be able to take up outside, you know, for which take the T-shirt with you, you know, yeah.
And we've got quite fairly long-term stays, not quite as long as yours, fraction of that. And they've come from a variety of different backgrounds.
I'm just going to start a new group now in Grendon, which is a closed prison. And they're very long-term prisoners. So hopefully we'll get some really good trained mentors.
Yes.
And for me, it's important that they flag up the maths on the wing, because we have great difficulty getting men to come up because their sentence is so long. They can't see the point. It's not as though they're just coming out. So I'm hoping we will keep mentors for a bit longer and really flag up maths is important on the wing.
Something else that's a kind of interesting observation we quite often see with mentors, I think it's more to do with the, you know, what that sort of the mentoring position does for their self-esteem and how they behave differently when they put that shirt on.
I've got a quote from one of the guys I interviewed after he'd been mentoring for a couple of months, and I said to him something like, you know, this is one of the mentors, so what do you get out of being a mentor? And he just went quiet for a bit and he said, you know, he says, when I haven't got the quote quite right, but it's something like, and it's in the book, something like, when I get up in the morning and I'm thinking, what am I going to do today? I think, well, at least that's one good thing I can do, you know? I think, yes, you know, fantastic.